The chapter starts off with Yuka and Ayo talking to these two guys saying they're surprised y'all found out that Yuhi was here, and the leader of a prominent group coming all this way is a rare sight. She replies with, "We tracked down a certain man's hideout and found notes on Yuhi." Ayo says to himself, "There's been so many facts coming out, it's been a whirlwind of activity." Yuka looks at him and says, "Your face looks like it's caught in a whirlwind of activity, though I assume, to be fair, you have many questions. But first, we have to meet him." Yuka asks the two guys leading them how they knew where Yuhi is in the first place. They explain they're the ones who took him in. They say they're smugglers, and a few months ago they found a drowned body off the shore of Manchuria, and when they got closer they were surprised they found a famous boxer, Yuhi Okami. Luckily he was still breathing, so they pulled him in. They asked him what happened, but Yuhi gave no response. They say he doesn't respond to anything. He doesn't even touch the food we give him. He's just holed up in this forest. They say, "Hey, if you're friends with him, please take him out of there for us. We're longtime fans of his boxing. We hate to see him this way." Ayo asks himself what could have happened to Dad. One of the two guys say Yuki is right up ahead, please be careful. Nowadays he refuses anything and everything. Yuka asks Ayo, "Are you prepared?" Ayo says once I see him everything will be clear. Then they see him sitting on the ground. Ayo says, "Dad?" Yuhi says, "Aozora?" Ayo, with tears falling down his face, yells for his dad, then starts running towards him. Yuka puts his arm out in front of him, stopping him from going over there, and says, "It's been some time, Yuhi." Yuhi says, "You're here too, Yuka?" She asks him, "Why have you been idling here? I still haven't forgot about the promise you made me that day." From behind Yuka, Ayo says, "You've got to move." While you were gone, then Yuka cuts him off and says Tomomi died in the air raid and Akira is in critical condition. He responds with, "I see." Yuka then asks, "You're not the type of man who couldn't foresee any of that, so why are you sitting here? What in the hell caused you to become this spineless?" Ayo moves her arm and runs over there. Yuhi screams, "Wait," then punches the ground. He says, "Aozora, I've been preaching to you about having a strong heart this whole time, but I was wrong. The whole concept of having a strong heart is wrong. I believed it myself, that no matter what adversity came my way, I could defeat it if I kept pressing forward. There was always a way out. But it never occurred to me that there were side effects to thinking this way." As he's saying this, we're shown a flashback to his old military squad mid-war, and he's telling them don't give up, don't falter, keep a smile when things get tough. One of his squad members say, "Captain, I can't move, please leave me behind. If you stop here, then everything goes to waste." Yuhi tells him, "Walk to camp." The member says, "But Captain," then Yuhi screams, "Stand firm, keep your heart strong, and move forward." He explains that the side effect of keeping a strong heart is, when people endure pain, they end up losing themselves. We're shown the same squad member pulling out a sword and about to attack Yuhi. He says, "There's no point anymore. What are we enduring this for?" As he has a crazed look on his face, then the whole squad attacks Yuhi. Yuhi continues to explain, once a person's frustration explodes, they engulf everyone and spread rapidly. Even I was no exception, as we see him standing with a bloody fist around the lifeless bodies of his squad, and when it was all said and done, all he could do was smile. His idea ended up getting his whole squad killed, a sin I committed from start to finish. He says he needed to take responsibility, and it looks like he purposely drowned himself. But as luck would have it, he survived and decided to never oppose the order of life on Earth anymore. And so he's been sitting in this forest, not wanting to do anything. The days of fighting are behind him. He says in doing so, I will ensure a world at peace, where no one will get hurt. Aozora, a strong heart was pointless, I'm sorry. Ayo starts crying and says, Dad, you've hurt a lot of people in this war. I'm in no position to emphasize, but I will never deny my beliefs. It's what kept me alive this long. I'm going to keep moving forward. Yuhi stands up and says, this must be another sin of mine. It's a parent's job to reshape the way their child thinks. Come at me if you want, Aozora. I'll teach you how pointless a strong heart is. Ayo says, no matter what, I'm going to bring you back to Akari. Then the chapter ends. So it looks like we're going to get Ayo versus his dad in the next chapter, which is crazy we're getting that this early. I thought that was an in-game fight. Ayo's going to try to beat some sense into him. Will he fail? Will he succeed? We'll have to wait and see. Let me know your comments on this chapter down below. Have you heard of Hell's Paradise? I'm also reviewing that manga. Check out my review here. Thanks for watching.